There we go. Welcome to this afternoon's webinar. Thank you for taking the time out of what's probably been a very busy day to join us. This is a live webinar with Tony from Sir Tom Finney Community High School. He's the head of Key Stage 4 computing lead, and he's going to share with us a few stories on how Education City has benefited his SEN students. Hello, Tony, are you well?
Good afternoon. Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Good, good. So can you just start by giving us a little bit of background information about the school and about yourself?
Absolutely. Um, our school is based in Preston in Lancashire, and we're a generic learning difficulty designated secondary special school with a sixth form. We've got students that are ranging in ages from 11 to 19 years old. A little bit of background information is we've got a significant proportion of the students on free school meals, and almost half the population that are either children in need, looked after, or post looked after, or in child protection currently. The school's seen a rise in students who display complex mental health challenges alongside a special educational need and or disability. From a personal perspective, I've spent 20 years as a teacher in education. 6 of those I've been privileged enough to spend at Sir Tom Finney Community High School. I'm currently the art and design lead, computing lead, head of Key Stage 4 and the behaviour manager in school. And personally, I just found a passion working in special education after many, many years in various mainstream establishments, and that's where we're at today.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. So before we move on with some of the questions that we've got for you, if anybody watching would like to ask Tony a question, there is a Q&A function on your bar on the screen. Click into that and you can ask a question live. You can also do that anonymously as well. Simply click into the anonymous box and that question will appear anonymously. Don't worry if you can't think of any in time though, because I will provide you with my email address at the end and you can send any more questions that you have over to me. Right then, let's get started, shall we? So starting off with Tony, why did Sir Tom Finney Community High School decide to implement Education City?
Right, for a start, we have been subscribers of Education City for 12 years now, so that in itself speaks volumes. So basically, we sought an online learning experience to benefit our students. So we were looking for a package that had an exciting and attractive user interface that would meet the needs and abilities of all of our pupils. So the user interface is what the kids are used to nowadays. It's very friendly and it's nothing alien or too hard to navigate and use for them, in particular with their needs and disabilities that they have. So Education City supplements the curriculum and face-to-face learning, which is beneficial for our school in terms of linkage and consistency. And Education City, it's used as an extension to learning and is used to reinforce the underpinning knowledge that they've gained in the lessons. It also supports our lower ability students who can use it without a specialist teacher, which means learning is accessible to all. So Education City, it can be accessed from outside school on many devices. Therefore, pupils can use it to work at home without support from school staff, and parents can assist, as required. Education City is very useful in filling the gaps where specialist teachers are not available for lessons, in particular subjects or where topics are required. This is ideal in times of staff absence, just general things like that. One of the great features of Education City is the online safety tool, which supports students and the fact that they use these digital tools for learning or recreationally daily. It's free to use for everyone, whether you're a subscriber or not. Essential resources in particular it is an essential resource in particular for our pupils are very, very vulnerable, especially online, as their online presence is their main social life and generally cannot be monitored outside of school for one reason or another. So that's where we are with that slide.
Brilliant, thank you. And we've just had a quick question actually. Zainab was wondering, would you say that Education City is useful for MFL? We don't have MFL as a subject area, but would you say sort of any students who may be English as an additional language, would it benefit them?
Yeah, it certainly does. It helps support their reading skills and the use of English language. I say without the MFL topic area, which we currently don't have in education, so it does back up the reading and listening skills. There's a lot of audio, a lot of video, and a lot of literacy within each of the different topic areas. So yeah, it is an additional asset.
That's brilliant, thank you. So moving on to our next slide, how would you say Sir Tom Finney Community High School, would it like, how do you effectively set up Education City each year? Is that like a job for one person or is it done by different people?
Right, well, to start off, the uploading students and classes for the new academic year. So as the computing lead, I'm also the administrator alongside the school network manager who will step in the event of my absence. So I'm responsible for grouping the classes and uploading the user details, etc. Now this can be done very, very easily by uploading a CSV file through Excel as a group batch file. And there's also an option to use the management integration tool, WAND, which Education City provides. Currently, we don't use that feature. I'm quite comfortable using the CSV file, but it can quite easily be linked into that. Again, if you want some more information, you can see the team at Education City on that aspect. So I distribute the logins each year to the class teachers, so they're up, ready, prepared for them, and we send them out to the students at the start of the year to use Education City. So prior to breaking up for summer, I receive all the new pupil details and upload them onto Education City, along with the new groups that have been organised by the heads of the department. So they'll give me lists of the pupils, their names, what groups they're in, and then I can click clone that onto Education City, give the groups the same names, have the pupils batched into those groups, so it's not alien to them when they start. And I create all the new groups for the forthcoming academic year. And then I can remove the historical ones, which then avoids any confusion from previous years. From that, I can then very, very easily print off PDFs by the group with all the usernames and passwords to be distributed to the young people. So the school usually have staff training with myself or through Education City to bring them up to speed with any changes and introduce them to the platform. Now, this is particularly useful for new staff or staff that maybe have not used it for some time. So Education City, the team themselves will come into school when possible to offer training. And alongside this, I offer staff training every week on various ICT specifics, including Office 365, Office packages, Education City, and any other ICT training required. And that's just part of the role that I offer to staff as part of computing lead.
That's brilliant. We've got a quick question here from Siobhan about splitting the students into different classes. Siobhan, a student can only ever belong to one class. However, they can belong to as many groups as you can possibly think of. So as Tony's mentioned, having students in those set groups ready, this is something that teachers themselves can control for different subject areas, for different subject unit areas, or even for different sort of groups of students across the school. Siobhan, if you want to know a little bit more about that, I'll give you my email address at the end and you can send me over an email. I'll be happy to talk you through that. Tony, you were referencing the groups earlier as well. Is that just class groups that you use, or do you use those for different sort of groups of students throughout the school as well?
Generally, we use it as class groups, but through the current circumstances we found ourselves in recently, through lockdown and that, I have had to create new groups throughout the year with students coming into school, students working at home, and grouping them differently, not generally within their own group. So we might find that there's groups within groups, depending on the time and where they are at that time, whether they're at school or in home. So a bit of a mix, but generally it's class groups.
Brilliant, thank you for that. Just checking, we've got no more questions at the moment, so let's move on to the next slide. If you've got any questions, feel free to keep asking them as we go. So in terms of supporting students' needs, how at the school, how do you support students' needs with Education City?
So going on from the groups there, yeah, again, you can set up groups on Education City which supports the differentiation, and this is particularly ideal for our students. All of our students have varying degrees of needs and differentiation in the class, and it can be absolutely vast. Now, Education City can be set up to meet individual needs and abilities, which is key, especially in an SEN environment. It supports both high and low sets at our school, which benefit our students' varying needs. Now, most of our groups pupils can be working at the P level or P scales, which is a set of descriptors that teachers can use to record achievement of pupils with SEN, and that goes right up through to GCSE. So therefore, a tailored curriculum is required, and we can have young people on the P scales and young people working at GCSE level within the same group. So it is essential. The students, they enjoy learning with technology. So Education City, it's a great option for the learning. As the user interface is very friendly, our pupils do not treat the program as just another learning platform. Instead, they look forward to using it as they relate this to downtime as such, and they treat it as a game, whilst the underlying focus is always still learning. The biggest problem we have with Education City is getting the students to come off it, and we really do, honestly. They really enjoy using it, as it is so user friendly, it's challenging, and it's so appealing to them. They just love the fact that they can get certificates, and they love the competition between themselves to see who can get highest scores, and that's something that they can do through the Play Live feature also. Okay.
That's excellent. We've had a couple more questions. So, Christina, in response to your question, Education City is a primary resource. So, age ranges from very starting of school right up until year 6 in England, or when students leave that primary school there. Zainab, Tony, do you have any strategies on how to support students in the classroom?
Oh, I
Does it
wouldn't know where
differ
to
depending
start with
upon the student?
that. We have lots and lots and lots of different strategies. We can. A lot of our strategies are varied, dependent on the individual pupils. We have teaching assistants that support the teaching and learning in the classroom, that can work with groups, they can work on one-to-one individual basis. We have intervention groups within groups as well, which can be in class time. We use the Education City to support that prior learning and to reinforce the learning for, especially for the young people that have that struggle with retention, retaining the knowledge, which a lot of ours do, in particular over periods of break times, such as Christmas and summer in particular,
Yeah.
Easter, things like that. So Education City can still be accessed at home and keep that retention, you know, bubbling away underneath.
Sort of that continuity of learning
Yes,
throughout the year.
absolutely.
Excellent. So moving on from that then, how would you say Education City supports teacher needs?
In our school, I've made Education City accessible to everyone. So I've got, as a whole school approach, I decided to include all the staff in Education City, including the administration staff, welfare staff, site supervisors, and the cleaners. And the staff, they can use Education City with their families at home as well. So they can see the benefits of, and it gives them an insight into what's happening in the classroom, something they would never necessarily see. In our school, we are what I would class as, we're just one big family, and we like to treat everybody the same.
I love that.
So, yeah, and we really are. Now we use sequenced and non-sequenced My Cities to deliver the learning. So it depends on the group. I'll use either sequenced or non-sequenced learning. If I want them to have completed a particular area or topic before they can move on, once they've completed it successfully, the content will be set to sequenced. And another reason I may do this is to ensure that the pupils work through the content rather than skip through it, which some of them may actually do.
Yeah.
Now, one of the fantastic features of Education City is the tracking tool, which shows the students' progress, which is really, really beneficial for the teachers. Now, not only does this provide the evidence for learning, it gives me, as a teacher, a quick and easy to analyse view to analyse the pupils' progress. So our teachers use it during lessons, and they can focus on certain pupils' needs. So Education City can be used to promote independent learning, whilst the teacher can focus upon individual pupils for intervention, one-to-one intervention work. Now, this is something that I use on a Thursday morning, period 1 and period 2. I've got the two top set groups for maths. I use Education City with a lot of them, so they can do independent work based on the topic area that we've been doing. For instance, we've been doing time and calendar just recently. So they can, I've set up 67 my classes on that at the moment for them to work on, while I can focus on the lower level learners who are struggling to grasp those concepts. So it's absolutely fantastic for that aspect.
Brilliant. We've had a really good question from Megan, actually. How do you overcome students feeling that this is a resource for younger people, for younger children?
Yeah, a lot of our pupils' chronological ages are far higher than their actual functioning age. So as an SEN school, we don't really have that problem as such, that you know, they feel it's too babyish for them as such. But some of the tools, the administration tools in Education City, you can actually change the names of the classes, the levels and things like that, so it becomes more relevant for them. They could currently, the default setting is like circle, pentagon, rhombus and things like that. Now I can set that to Key Stage 4, you know, top set if I want, and then that gives them that little bit of you know, feeling that they're doing the age appropriate work, but for their functioning age it generally is. For the real higher learner level learners, then maybe Education City is just a way that they can have a little bit of downtime while still learning, but maybe not working at that level that they should be at, if that answers your question.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And Megan, if you want to know a little bit more about changing the labels, sort of where you see year 1, year 2, year 3, that can all be altered. Again, get in touch with me at the end. I'm more than happy to guide you through that. And as you said, Tony, you know, students, if they think they're playing, they're not really bothered, are they?
That's it, yeah. To them, it just looks like a game interface, and that's what attracts them so much more to actually using it, but actually, you know, having to say, you know, come on, I need you to get on with your work. they'll just do it.
Yeah, Brit, sorry, I'm just looking here, and also apt about changing labels. Anybody who wants any more information, I'll give you my email address at the end. I'm more than happy for you to get in touch with me about anything else that you would like to see. And Christina, there is a way to see a demo of Education City. You can either get in touch and book a training session, or if you go to educationcity.com/webinar, you will see some live demos of Education City. So either of those, whatever way would work best for you guys. Moving on then from that, and obviously leading on from that, in the current situation that we are in, how did the school support students during the closures?
Well, it's came into its own, you know, light now, really. I mean, as lockdown happened very quickly for all of us back in March, and was without warning, Education City was crucial to get the classroom out there to the pupils. We weren't bringing the pupils into school, we were bringing school out to them. And it was very easy for us to contact pupils and parents and to guide them on how to access Education City from home to continue their learning and using the activities that were available and set up by the class teachers. As we've been using Education City for the last 12 years, it's a very common, a very well used feature throughout school. So the pupils are very comfortable, and it's not something that's alien to them. It's not something new that's, you know, might put them off. It was something that was embedded as part of the curriculum throughout, from Key Stage 3 right through to post 16. So it was for us, it was very fortunate, but that's the benefits of having a package like this. Now, from March to July, our school did have over 10,000 uses, and as part of my role of computing coordinator, I annually review the uses of Education City for budgeting reasons. I've got to make sure that the resources are being used effectively and efficiently. And the team at Education City can provide, and they do, evidence of usage for particular periods when requested. So in the March to summer 2020 period, we saw a massive spike in its usage, which proved to us that not only were the pupils able to access it from home, but they were also enjoying using it from the amount of times it was actually used. So that was fantastic.
I mean, that's amazing. Used over 10,000 times between those months is just a phenomenal. And obviously, again, following on from that, many of our schools up and down the UK are writing contingency plans for sort of just in case, essentially. Can you tell us a little bit more about your school's contingency plans?
Yeah, absolutely. We've set up home working plans for all departments to support them in the event of school closing. So, in fact, we've just had to close some of our department bubbles just recently to self-isolate at home. Personally, this is just my second day back in school. I've been self-isolating for the last 2 weeks. Now, prior to this, we'd arranged for support packs to be taken home for everybody, which included hard copies of work and documents with lists of links to access e-learning. The Education City played a big part of this by utilising the activity sheets which are available to print off. And those are mainly targeted for the ones that have struggled to access the internet at home, because not all our pupils have internet access in the where they live. And with classwork in my cities, it was all set up in preparation just in case. Now the classwork can be set up in advance, and you can set a time frame of when you want to publish it, whether you want to publish it straight away, or you can put it for certain periods of time, or indeed on demand by the teacher. So all the classwork was set up in preparation, and when lockdown happened or when we had to self-isolate, we could then just click a button and it was activated and it was all there ready for them. So that was all a big part of our planning. And another thing that comes from that is the feedback and reporting tools on Education City. They're ideal for when it comes to Ofsted, because Ofsted may well ask the question, well, how are you tracking progress? How are you evidencing learning? So that's the big question. Now you can do that quite easily through the success tracker. I can easily see the information on each pupil for any subject they've accessed. I can export all this information into Excel and produce a report on that information. And the information can be, it gives you your subject, what content type they were using, the actual title of the content, what score they got, did they complete it, and the actual date that it was saved as well. So the information, it's all there if you need to report back to your leadership teams or indeed to Ofsted.
That's brilliant. Got a couple of questions again, Tony. So Sarah, please don't worry that you've arrived late. I'm glad you got here eventually. All of our webinars are recorded and are available to watch on educationcity.com/webinar, so you can look at them in your own time. And in response to your question, Education City can be used as a homework tool if that's how you wish to use it. Again, if you want any more information, send me an email at the end. I'll give you my email address and I'm happy to go through that with you. I can even do a little demo with you as well. Also got a question here, an anonymous attendee. Can you add self-made resources into the classwork and homework areas? No, you can't. Not at the moment anyway. Whether or not that's something way into the future, but at the moment you can only add the resources that are on Education City into those areas. Tony, have you got anything else to add onto any of those at all?
No, but the only thing is that we do use that to support the learning at home for homework, and it, as I say, it backs up the learning that is taking place. I wouldn't like to say that. Well, we don't use Education City as a primary teaching tool. It supports the learning, the formal learning, teaching and learning that takes place in class. But again, it's an ideal resource if you have staff absences or non-specialist teachers.
That's brilliant, thank you. So what is the impact of Education City on your school? What would you say is sort of the main impacts that it provides or it has?
The main impact is the benefit to the pupils that need intervention. So the intervention programs can be supported by teaching support staff and at home by parents or carers. And it enables us to set work that focuses upon the particular areas for improvement and can quickly bring the pupils up to speed alongside their peers without having to impact on the rest of the class. So that's one of the main benefits we've got. The teachers and teaching assistants themselves can support learning concepts with many of the tools that are available for them. So the activities can be led by the teacher, they can be led on screen for group interaction or pupil-led for independent work. So you can use it as a group tool or independent tool as well. So a lot of depending on the nature of your pupils, some of them like to get up and involved as groups, but then there's always the ones that like to work independently. So you can do both of that. Now the topic tools are available for each subject. The teacher-led tools designed for whole class teaching. You set them up in advance and save for interactive use, or you can print them out as worksheets. And additional resources, there's a vast amount of resources available to focus upon key areas of learning, such as phonics, timetables, online safety, and the Play Live feature. Play Live is a feature that's used for educational games to learn whilst competing with their peers. So there's a leaderboard created, and at the top scorers can be shown either as whole school, group, or just indeed anyone. And our pupils absolutely love this. Some of the students prefer online learning rather than face-to-face. So Education City is a fantastic tool for them. For the pupils that are hard to engage with or too quiet to talk out in front of a group, Education City can be used to assign content specifically to them. And some learners, we all know who they are, resist learning in a classroom for one reason or another. They use Education City. Using it gives them ownership and independence whilst learning, and we can still monitor them throughout. And some of them will just think that they're playing games or simply just getting on with it.
That's brilliant, thank you. Got a couple more questions again. So Sarah, can it be used with deaf children by themselves or with no access to sound? So from my perspective, Sarah, all of our resources, including our videos, have both the words across the screen as well as sort of being read out to you. So they can be used by deaf children if you wish to. We do actually have a school in Derbyshire that uses Education City and has subscribed to us for a number of years. Tony, have you got anything to add on to that one?
Yeah, we do have a proportion of deaf pupils and visually impaired pupils, and it meets the needs for both of them as such. Like you say, it does give it an audio and an on-screen reading aspect to all the areas of Education City, and it is accessible for virtually everybody in school.
Yeah, and again, Sarah, on that last bit there, it is both visual and can be read. So it has both components for you. But again, if you want to know a little bit more, please do get in touch. And the Play Live is part of the games. If you head into the subjects area on the homepage, select a year group, and you'll see there's like a little trophy icon for our games. You'll find Play Live in there, along with all of our new whack-a-mole games. So please do explore. But again, please get in touch if you've got any other questions. So, future plans, Tony. What are the future plans for Sir Tom Finney Community High School?
The main thing we've got is looking into the new features on Education City. So as new features appear on the site, yourselves, the team at Education City, always inform you of their availability. You offer training to support this if it's required. Education City is continuing to develop and introduce new content to support the pupils. And with a vast range of differentiated learning available, it's of great benefit to use for us as educators and for our learners. Since closures, it's been used more and more and more to support learning, and it will continue to do so. So as more and more of our young people find themselves studying from home, whether it be COVID-related, medical reasons, recovering from operations, etc., Education City, it plays a vital part in keeping our pupils educated and engaged in education. Now, as I previously said, from March lockdown to summer break, it was used over 10,000 times. And in fact, our school never actually closed at all. We remained open all throughout for all of our pupils to attend if able. And we found ourselves, along with many other schools, having classes, departments, and indeed some cases whole schools closed. And we have been really fortunate not to have having to close our whole school. But education is essential to maintain the education and continuity for those that cannot access it in school. Our expansion plans, yeah, we've got an exciting move forward. So our future plans for the school is to increase the provision of pupils with special educational needs and disabilities over the next 5 years. Predictions are that we are expected pupils with higher needs and more challenging behaviour. Education City will play a key part in that in keeping the pupils engaged, thus reducing behaviours in the classroom. Also meeting the needs of those at home for, say, medical reasons, and overall having a platform that seamlessly progresses through the years and is accessible for everyone.
I love that. Accessible for everyone. We should make that our new slogan, shouldn't we? That's brilliant. Thank you so much for that, Tony. Has anybody got any questions for Tony or about Education City itself? Just give people a couple more minutes,
Yeah.
see if they've got any further questions.
Yeah, there's just a few key points that I'd just like to throw out there to everyone.
Please do.
The main benefits to me as an educator, the teacher's resource pack, which is available on Education City, it's very, very useful. It's fantastic. It contains a multitude of cross-curricular materials which support teaching and learning. The homepage, the interface is so user-friendly. There's two looks to it. There's a new view and a classic view, which are both great. The account management tools itself, it tailors the views to suit your school and your pupils. Login methods, wand integration management, information systems, the activity times, limits, pass marks, certificates, they're all fantastic features that are built into it. And those are the key points for me as an educator.
Thank you for that, Tony. We've had a couple of questions. So from Siobhan, do you use Education City on computers, tablets, and any other type of ICT?
Everything.
If I could just answer that one first, Siobhan,
Yeah.
we are completely flash-free resource, so it is available on any kind of ICT. But how do you use it in the school, Tony?
We use it on desktop computers, we have laptops, and we use iPads. And I know a lot of the young people have actually told me that they'll use it on their mobile devices at home. Like you said previously, Haley, the content is all tablet friendly now, and it's not flash based, so it is accessible by a multitude of devices.
Thank you for that. Sarah, how is marking done? Any activities and assessments that are completed are marked for you, Sarah. So you're not going to worry about marking any of those. Any printouts, for example, we do provide answer sheets to make your life a little bit easier there. I hope that answered that question for you. And Anne, where do you find the teacher resource pack? It's on the homepage when you log into Education City. If you're on the new view, you will find it in the quick links at the bottom of the page. And if you're on the classic view, you'll find it in the resources area. So I hope that answers those questions for you both. There we go. Education City works slightly differently now, Christina. Get in touch with me and I'll be happy to put you through to somebody who will be able to help you with that information. There we go. So got what a couple more. Oh, Anne's found it. Wonderful. I'm glad you found it there, Anne. There we go. So for anybody who does need to get in touch with me, if you've got any questions or queries at all, customer service at educationcity.com. That's customer service, all one word, at educationcity.com. And if you want to put it for my attention, for the attention of Hayley, I will be sure to answer that question as quickly as I can for you. And for anybody who would like a demo of that as well. We've got a few more questions just coming through now, Tony. Do students use it on their phone through an app? No, it is a website. So you can log on online, you can log on to Education City. There we go. And a couple more over here. Anybody who wanting to know about the slides will not be available. However, a copy of this exact video will be available to you. And you can head over to educationcity.com/educationcity-webinars and you'll find this video there. Tony, anything else before we finish for the evening?
No, I just want to thank everybody for participating and allowing me to share our story. And I want to just thank Education City for the support and the fantastic customer service you give us.
Thank you ever so much, Tony. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I, for one, If Education City doesn't work out for me, we'll be applying for a job at your school.
I'm sure there'll be one for you.
Thank you ever so much. And thank you to everybody for attending. Take care and stay safe. And I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.